During the week of the 9th to the 13th, our channel will bring to the audience breathtaking developments, unexpected shocks and gradually revealed secrets in the chaotic world of Beyond the Gates. Each episode is like a puzzle piece. When put together, it will gradually reveal dark conspiracies, hidden relationships, and seemingly irreparable tragedies. Get ready to embark on a journey to uncover each layer of truth, where no one is truly innocent, and no secret can be buried forever. The night wind seems to blow away all the boundaries between right and wrong, as Andre and Dani quietly leave the cramped room where they just shared a moment that should not have happened. Their breathing has not yet stabilized, their eyes still sparkle with irresistible passion. But in that silence, fear begins to creep in like a creepy background music. Downstairs, Vernon was still sitting alone in the living room, a glass of wine in his hand. Little did he know that, upstairs, his daughter had broken every moral rule he had ever taught her since she was a child. Dani was trembling, her legs unsteady. Not only because of her emotions but because she knew that if her father found out, the consequences would be more than just an argument. Vernon was the type of person who would not forgive. Would not accept betrayal, especially when the person who broke that limit with his daughter was Andre, the person he once trusted like a son. Everything seemed to be kept secret forever. But secrets always have a way of coming out. In a surprising turn of events, the police raided and arrested the two as they were trying to sneak out of the apartment building. Not only were they charged with violating the city's curfew, but they were also suspected of being involved in a series of incidents that had not yet been made public. While Dani tries to hide her emotions, Andre is strangely cold, as if he has long anticipated this outcome. Their arrest that night quickly becomes the center of attention in the quiet residential area. But no one knows that everything is just beginning. The subsequent investigation reveals dark pieces of their relationship, not simply a forbidden love, but also related to a deeper conspiracy, where trust, hatred and mutual exploitation are mixed together in a dangerous web. Meanwhile, in another development, Kat walks out of the police station with a satisfied half-smile. In her hand is the report from Jacob, who does not easily share information with anyone. The evidence found, the helmet and gloves, confirms the suspicions she has harbored for a long time. They matched perfectly with what was seen on the camera in the accident that killed an innocent person. The motorcyclist who fled that day was none other than Leslie. Now, Kat believed that she could make Leslie disappear from this life once and for all. Not only stopping at proving her guilt, Kat also secretly arranged a detailed plan, step by step pushing Leslie to the brink. She knew Leslie was not someone who would give up easily, but this time, she would not give the other party a chance to change. Kat's revenge was not only personal, it was also a demand for justice for the person she once loved, who had been hurt in the dark because Leslie had never repented. At the same time, in a suburban hospital, Naomi sat quietly by Bill's bedside. The heart rate monitor was still ringing steadily like an endless alarm bell. She couldn't forgive herself, even though the doctor kept reassuring her that it wasn't her fault. But Naomi knew the truth that no one wanted to face. Her father's serious medical incident was not a coincidence, but the result of a series of careless actions that started with her. Vernon appeared behind Naomi. His eyes no longer had the usual pride but only a smoldering sadness. He tried to comfort her, reminding her that everyone makes mistakes. But Naomi just bowed her head, silent, her hands clasped together as if wanting to run away from everything. In her heart, the image of her father collapsing right before her eyes was still like a wound that had not yet healed. In the darkness, something was brewing. The collapse of trust, hidden secrets, unforgiving revenge, and love that crossed moral lines, all were intertwined, waiting to explode. The arrest of Andre and Dani quickly created a wave of public opinion. Not only because they were prominent young figures in the community, but also because their relationship was considered taboo. Some outsiders sympathized, thinking that they were just young people lost in their emotions. But those who knew more about Dani's family did not think so. They knew that Vernon would not forgive. That man was not only a conservative father, but also a hidden force that always controlled everything in silence. When the news of the arrest reached Vernon's ears, he did not show any obvious emotion. He just stood there, staring out the window, where the streetlights reflected dimly on the polished wooden floor. A rift was quietly spreading inside him, not because his daughter had betrayed him, but because the betrayer was Andre, the man he had once supported as an extension of himself. For Vernon, this was no longer a family matter. This was a counterattack. He began to use all his connections, from the police chief to figures in the judiciary, to turn Andre's record around. Small past transgressions, shady connections, unexplained funds, all began to be dug up. Vernon didn't simply want to punish Andre. He wanted to drown him in a legal quagmire from which he could never rise. Dani, even though she was his daughter, was not exempt from the plan. He would make her understand that temporary emotions could ruin a life. Meanwhile, Leslie begins to feel the pressure. She notices someone following her, the silver-gray car that appears 3 times in just 1 week. The strange gaze of the supermarket clerk, and the anonymous text message with the only message: "I know what you did." At first, she thinks it's a coincidence. But as the frequency and intensity increase, she gradually loses control. Little does she know that Kat is gradually pulling the curtain off the secret she has been hiding for so long. Kat is not alone. Beside her is Jacob, a man with a cold exterior but a hateful heart. He was once an indirect victim of Leslie in a financial scandal that she secretly manipulated. Having lost everything, Jacob vows to use all means to expose her true face. And now, with evidence from the accident, he has the legal basis to prosecute. Kat didn't just want Leslie to be held accountable. She wanted her to collapse, to lose everything, just like she had lost her dear sister in the accident that year. The anonymous victim on the news was only mentioned by a cold number. That pain had eaten into Kat like a scar, and now, she wouldn't hesitate to rub it again, to turn the pain into the power of revenge. While the world around her became chaotic with conspiracies, Naomi sank deeper and deeper into guilt. She avoided her friends, skipped school, locked her phone, and even stopped going to the hospital. In her mind, the image of her father lying motionless with a breathing tube and tangled wires was like a curse. Vernon tried to contact her many times, but Naomi didn't respond. She locked herself in a dark room, where only the ticking of the clock and the dim light from the old desk lamp remained. One day, Naomi receives a strange envelope at her door. Inside is an old photo of her and Bill on their last picnic before he fell ill. On the back of the photo is a shaky handwriting, but it is definitely her father's. "You are the only light in my life." The words break Naomi down. She begins to understand that the punishment she has imposed on herself is not helping, and if she continues like this, she will lose everything. Naomi decides to return to the hospital, but when she arrives, she finds Bill's room empty. The nurse informs her that he has been transferred to the intensive care unit after an unexpected complication. Naomi panics. She cannot bear it if her father dies while she is still hiding in her own darkness. The feeling of helplessness gradually suffocates her, causing her to almost collapse right in front of the treatment room door. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the city, Dani is facing a harsh reality. After hours of interrogation, she realizes that Andre is not quite what she thought. His testimony seems pre-prepared, cold, rational, and completely detached from her. As if he is protecting himself, and himself alone. Dani feels betrayed. She wonders, is everything they have just part of Andre's plan? Or is she a pawn someone has placed on a grand chessboard? Outside the cell, Vernon watches the proceedings through the surveillance system. He shows no anger or hurt. He just nods silently, as if things are going in the right direction. But deep in his eyes was an indescribable emptiness, because he knew that this war had not only destroyed those he hated, but also every last memory he had of the little girl he once held in his arms, lulling to sleep with gentle lullabies. There was no turning back now. Everything had only just begun. When personal secrets collided with powerful forces, when love was suffocated by conspiracy, and when the truth was about to be revealed, who would fall, who would rise from the rubble? Don't miss the next thrilling moments of Beyond the Gates, aired weekly on our channel. Follow, share and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any plot twists, because every moment could be the key to changing the whole situation.